Okay, so I'm going to try to walk through this one more time with you, just like we did in the classroom. I'm going to do it from beginning to ending. So we're here on the Sumo page, and I'm going to create a new image. If you remember down below here, it says 800 by 600 pixels. We're going to reverse that. We want it to be taller than it is wide. This is a landscape format. We want it to be a portrait format. So I'm going to go up to Image, Image Size, and change the width to only 600 and change the height from 600 to 800. Hit OK. The scroll bar shows us that we're not seeing it all at once, so I'm going to zoom out, and now we can see it all within the space. Okay, I've got a toolbar over here. I've got my layers over here. I'm not really worried about color, so I'm going to close this window. And I'm not really worried about the info zoom window, and I'll close that too, so we have more room to see all of our backgrounds. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. And in this layer, I'm going to draw my monster. I'm going to draw with a paintbrush, brush tool. And the default dry brush comes up, and I'm going to switch that by clicking this window into the circle brush shape. The diameter right now is very large, it's 30 pixels. I'm going to change that, make it smaller. For the sake of seeing it on this video, I want to make it just a little bit larger than I did in the classroom demo. I'm going to make it 10 pixels. This will show up a lot better. We have flow and we have opacity. I want it to be completely opaque, a solid black, so we're fine at 100% right here. So I'm going to come in here and start to draw my monster. The head, shoulders, elbow, arm, chest, hip. This arm is going to be bent up. Bicep. Foot. Tail. There's another leg coming off this side. And another foot back here. Alright, so eyes, and why not put a few wings on it as well. Alright. Okay. So without getting too complicated, here is my sort of flying mouse monster, and I'm going to start to put in my textures. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to, from File, import to the layer from my computer, File, import to layer from my computer. And I've renamed some of these so it's easier for me to remember which ones I want. And I'm clicking red flower And if you remember right, this wasn't the right size, so I'm going to need to edit, free transform it, make this just a little bit larger, and I'm going to grab this corner, hit shift, try to make that just a little bit larger. Now it fills the space, but now I can't see my character anymore. So I'm going to deselect it, select, deselect, and the blue lines will disappear. And now I'm going to bring my layer 1, which is my drawing layer, just clicking in there drawing so I can remember that again, bring that to the top. And there's my mouse creature. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so I can see just a little bit better, and I'm going to erase away. So here's the eraser tool. I want to make sure that I'm operating on layer 3, which is the flower layer. Just click in there. And now I can come in here and start to erase out my character from behind. I'm trying to do a little bit better than I did last time to make sure I get all of it out without getting outside of my lines. You can move to a larger brush diameter if you want to take out a larger area. You see it's only erasing away the flower, and it's not erasing away the black line. Now, I've gotten outside of my space. This is negative space around the tail. I've made a mistake. So if you make a mistake, you just click undo, and it'll take you back to the last spot where you were working. Alright, I need to move to a smaller brush size so I can get into some smaller areas. And I think you're starting to get the picture here. Just so I don't spend too much time, I'm going to go ahead and let you see how we can bring in some more elements. So for the wing, I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to import to layer from my computer what I'm calling the gold shine texture. Here's the gold shine texture. I can move it. I can also free transform it. I'm going to rotate it. And then I'm going to hit deselect and bring my drawing up over the top. Alright, so I only want it into this wing area right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my eraser tool again, get a great big eraser, and I want to make sure that I'm on the layer that I want to erase. I have to move to a smaller eraser tool. And smaller yet. Okay, I would then go ahead and do the same thing with the other wing. But now what I want to do is bring in a texture for the mouse monster, and I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to import to layer from my computer, and it's what I'm calling the stone texture. And I'll move that up into the head. And I want to transform it so it takes up the whole body. And I always want to deselect. There's the image showing up. I'm going to grab the drawing, move it up to the top again. I can see it. And now I'm going to erase away. Make sure I'm on the right layer. And so this texture is going to be a little bit flat on the body. So what I'm going to have to do is go in with a transparent layer of shading to create a little light and shadow. And again, I won't do the whole figure this way, but you're going to get the idea. So on top of this, I could do it as a separate layer, create a new layer. And I can choose the black, say OK, and I'm going to choose the opacity, I'll make it about 20% or so. The diameter is pretty big, I might make it a little bit smaller. And then I can start to I had the wrong tool clicked. I had the eraser tool clicked. I should have had the brush tool. So now I'm on the brush tool, and now I can start to add shadow underneath it. And you see that coming on there just very lightly? So creating shadow under the chin, some shadow here behind the arm, and the arm back in here. Some shadow on the side of the face. And doing it at 20% or so, it's very light, and you can always just keep adding more. Every time you go over it, you add another 20%, so doing it 5 times would end up being about black. So this is pretty much the steps that you'd want to take, and the next thing you would do is you'd want to save it. So you're going to save to your computer, and that could be your thumb drive as well. And you want to make sure you save it as a JPEG. So you click the JPEG, you name it. So this will be my favorite monster version 2. Hit save, and then you'll upload that to your post. So good luck with that. You can refer back to this. Just move back and forth. Scrub the scroll bar on it if I was speaking too quickly and you didn't see a step. And everything should be great. I'll see you in class on Wednesday.